Verona Borough Council for June 12th, 2018. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kenna.
President Ricky Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti.
Here.
Dr. Carpenter. Present. Mrs. Walbo.
Here.
Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Mrs. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchovich.
Here.
Mr. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Finch.
Here.
And Mayor Recupero is not going to be with us this evening.
Thank you. Council will now hear registered comments regarding bakery group. So, come on up.
Hi, my name is Shirley Davis and I'm from Verona United Methodist Church, and I'd like to introduce you to Brittany, Will, and Ben, who would like to do baking in our kitchen at our church. It'd be similar to it will be the same as what we did for Pittsburgh Pickle, where there was no retail or no wholesale out of our premises, okay? And they, in turn, after 2.5, almost 3 years, then bought a business here in Verona. And they are now, taxpayers, so that worked out good. And we're hoping for the same, but I'll let Will and them speak for themselves.
Thank you.
Okay?
So first of all, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to us today. We're really looking forward to the possibility of being able to do this. We've been trying to get our business off the ground for several years now. We've been baking out of our homes, out of our small kitchens for too long now, and so this is a really great opportunity. Like Shirley said, my name is Ben Fine. So first of all, our business is called BB and Burr Pastry Kitchen, and the two B's, I'm one of the B's, Brittany's one of the B's, and Burr is short for Will Burr, although his name is William, but it's a childhood nickname. Burr is also the French word for butter, so it's a little bit of a pun. But
B-U-R-R?
B-U-R. Yeah, BB and Burr Pastry Kitchen. So just a little bit about our backgrounds. So all three of us went to Pennsylvania Culinary Institute downtown, the school that is now closed, but we all have a background in pastry arts. We've all done that. Out of culinary school, I worked at Vanilla Pastry Studio, which is a little boutique bakery, ended up being the assistant pastry chef there, and I've kind of worked my way through different managerial jobs. I opened a bagel restaurant in Oakland, and now I'm one of the managers at Square Cafe in Regent Square. So primarily my role in the business is going to be more the business side of it. I have a lot of management experience in terms of just sort of the day-to-day operations and things like that. And I'm going to let Brittany speak for a second just to let her tell you a little bit about herself. So,
from my experience, I came out of culinary school and started working at 11, the restaurant down in the Strip. I was a pastry cook there for about 3 years before I got the position as the pastry chef there. So I was pastry chef there for about 2 years. Ended up leaving there to go work with them at Square Cafe, where I'm now an assistant front of house manager. So along with having the kitchen experience, I have the management experience too. My main role is recipe developer and flavor creator. I like coming up with all the crazy flavors and recipes, and working in a kitchen where we did everything from scratch. I have a good grasp on how everything works for the most part.
Okay, and I'm Will Marrow, and I kind of started my culinary work through going to the bakery, the Oakmont Bakery. I was a board cake decorator there to start, and I worked there for a year, and I actually went to Vanilla Pastry Studio, and I worked with Ben, and I was their lead cake decorator for the better part of 2 years. After I left there, I went and I worked with Brittany, and I worked with her at 11 as a pastry cook.
I like to keep it in the family.
We've all worked together at some point. So yeah, I worked with Brittany at 11, and then I left for a short time and worked for Bella Christie's as their lead decorator, and then I went back to 11 to become their bread baker. So that's where I am now. I'm still baking bread. My role in the business is the creative side. So anything that looks pretty, anything that, glitter, throw glitter on there. But yeah, cakes are my big thing. I love to do fondant. I love to do sculpted cakes, everything that's fancy. So that's kind of
So just to kind of give you an idea of what our business is, so what we're really trying to do is focus on custom celebration cakes. So that means anything from graduation parties, custom cakes for birthdays, wedding cakes. Like Will said, he's a really talented decorator. So is Brittany. I mean, and we have some pictures to show you in a little bit.
Can I pass
Please,
these around?
yeah.
Is that okay?
We'd also have a goal to get our products into local coffee shops. We actually checked out Mechanic Coffee the other day, and we loved how cute it was, and it looked like it might be something that they could benefit from. So that would be something that we might try. And just primarily, I mean, the primary use for it is going to be wholesale. Like Shirley said, we have no intentions, at least in the immediate future, to do this as a retail business. This is an opportunity for us to get our business off the ground and to do it, legally in the eyes of the health department and the IRS, and in order to have a taxable income, you have to have a health permit, and that's really what we're trying to do, We have so much baking equipment in our houses, and we just want to get it out of our houses and be able to do this in a way that's, do it the right way and follow all the rules. So, we understand the concerns of the space being used for retail or affecting the people who live in the neighborhood. And one of the reasons, that we're here is to reassure everyone that this is going to be pretty much as inconspicuous as we can make it. We won't be having any trucks come in with inventory deliveries or anything like that. We're going to be getting all of our inventory. It's going to be a delivery-only business, so we won't have customers coming in to pick up their orders. So it's our goal is to do what we do and not have it affect anyone locally. And Will's going to talk a little bit just like about I kind of touched on it, but our goals too, kind of going forward. So
kind of basing off what Ben said, celebration cakes and things like that, but also providing, if you saw some of the pictures, there are mini desserts for weddings and, events and things like that. So mostly it would be a delivery we set up so no one's coming in, especially for big cakes. It's not something you want the average customer just picking up on their own and taking it with them. And then hopefully in the future, we would love to maybe open a place here, retail, or just a kitchen of our own that's not out of the basement of the church. But we think it's a great neighborhood, and anything we can do to make it a little bit better.
Yeah, Will grew up in Keysport, I grew up in Squirrel Hill, Brittany and Baldwin. So we've all been Pittsburghers our whole life, and Verona's really one of those towns that we really like the feel of it. And Bob was telling us the other day just about the efforts to build it up a little bit, and to be a part of that would be really cool. So, and this street alone, it's really what at least I picture for a retail space someday. So, yeah. Okay, now Will has a couple more things. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we were discussing with Bob when we would be in the kitchen, and we would be there mainly in the mornings. We drive normal cars. We don't have like a big truck or anything, so we're not gonna draw attention to us at the church. But we'd probably be there like 8 hours a day, maybe 10 hours a day, just really baking, getting things done. We don't want to be there in the evening too much, and it really depends on when the church would need to use the kitchen too. Because I know they have some events like their community dinner once a month that they do. So we wouldn't be there for that, but yeah. So we were also talking to him and for a time frame for working out of the church, because we know the Pittsburgh Pickle Company They were there for about 2.5 years, I think. So we were thinking, based on how busy we are really, we may be working in the kitchen for 2 to 5 years. That's kind of where we put our timeline.
It's long range, but we honestly at this point we have really no idea what our level of business is going to be like. You know, we've been hesitant to try to grow our business up until this point, just because of, you know, the liability associated with it. So once we're able to do it legally, that's when we'll start to see what we're really capable of. So we brought some samples, not that we're trying to butter anybody up, but this is all for you guys, just in case you have any doubts about the quality. We have a few different things for you to try.
And pass them around. Do you want me to leave them here for you guys too?
We're happy to just
Pass them, yes.
Yeah, please help yourself. And
Is it just the three?
yeah, right now it's just the three of us, so we wouldn't be needing like workers' comp insurance or anything. We're not planning on having employees. We are the business right now, as of right now. So, and yeah, we would love to give you the opportunity to ask us any questions as well. So,
You guys enjoy
There's no wheat flour, there is regular flour.
yeah. So how we're going to bring things in. Yeah, so we are, like I said, we're going to be going out and getting all of our supplies.
He's still talking to us.
I know there's baked goods in the house. It's hard to focus when there's baked goods.
Waited.
So yeah, we'll be going out and getting all of our supplies, and there is, I don't know if you're familiar with the church. There's a ramp that leads to a side entrance that goes right into the basement of the church, and that's where we would be loading and unloading everything. You know, I don't see it being anything even remotely conspicuous. You know, I mean, this is going to be, you know, I mean, it'll be large bags of stuff, but it's going to be just right up the ramp into the door. Is that what?
It's a very
What I was getting at as far as vehicles like the Cisco, you know, those types of.
Yeah. I mean, we're never going to have any kind of, you know, food companies dropping off food. We're going to go out and get everything we need. And like Will said, our vehicles aren't branded in any way, so there's not going to be people asking, oh, what's that truck there? You know, we drive regular cars, and we're planning on delivering with our own personal vehicles. So.
Are you working something out as far as with trash for the church?
Yeah, we did discuss that a little bit. The church said that it shouldn't be an issue, that we don't really anticipate creating a huge amount of trash, but from what we discussed, they said it shouldn't be a problem at all. And we can take recyclables. I mean, we can even take it home, or I think they said there's
recycling.
Yeah, you can bring it here, right?
Down here at the end.
Yeah.
It's a single stream, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Boy Scouts pick up the aluminum cans.
Okay.
And then the paper. So,
Bob, is there anything with the county as far as like the kitchen itself? Do they have to do anything with that?
So the kitchen is already approved.
Okay.
They have the license for that.
Okay.
And we do plan on, you know, we'll obviously speak with the health department and do everything that they require. You know, John and the guys from the pickle company have used it before, so the health department has permitted it. So I don't know if anything.
So the pickle factory, sorry to interrupt you,
No.
but the pickle factory was in the church doing cooking previously.
Yes, they started their business out of this. Actually, it's.
And the church did cooking in there even prior to that.
yes.
I mean, it sounds to me that it's just a continuation of an already permitted accessory use. I'm not even sure it needs borough approval at this time unless you start doing something like selling to the public, doing retail out of there, because I'm not sure that would be what has been approved in the past. I'm not sure retail out of a church is an accessory use to a lawful church business at this point. I would have to research that, and probably have to maybe send it to the planning commission or something like that. But with regard to just doing normal cooking that churches do all the time, I think that that's a legitimate accessory use to their already lawful use. And you know, I mean, if council wishes to give an approval, I don't have a problem with that, but I think they're permitted to do that at this point.
Does council have a problem?
Well,
I think it'll be great.
I think it's great too. Do you have business cards?
We're working on them, actually.
When you bring them back, bring some more
We,
Trail mix cookies are really
You
good.
never know. Oakmont Bakery started in a little shop up on a side street up there. You never know.
yeah.
And Verona, it would be wonderful if you guys could open a shop in Verona here and give them some competition. I love the idea.
Yep.
That is our goal. I mean, we've all wanted to do it. That's why we went to culinary school. I mean, Brittany and I love where we work, but it kind of feels like there's more for us, and same for Will. He's so talented and creative, and bread, there's only so much you can do with bread, plus getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning isn't very glamorous. So, and yeah, I mean, I mean this very genuinely. Verona is very attractive to us as far as
We do have some homes for sale in Verona. And just to give you the heads up, you have a council person that's right next door to the church, so.
How good is it going to smell? Oh my gosh, I have to go.
well, the hood vent goes right up on the roof, so you'll probably smell something. Yeah, but
Well, welcome to Verona, and thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. The opportunity.
Most definitely want your business cards. So
Yeah,
that
we'll
we
get
can-
those to you. My dad works in advertising, and we had a coworker of ours design our logo, and without talking to my dad first, and he took one look at it and said, "That's not going to work. We need to remake that." So he had to remake it, so we couldn't get our business cards in time, but we'll get those to you as soon as we have them.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Looking
Very good.
forward to it.
Good
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Jen.
Thank
Go
you.
forth and bake.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, council will now hear comments from the public on the agenda items. Please approach the podium and clearly state your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes. All right, Jerry.
All right, everybody has a financial report. There's a list of all the bills. It's on the back. So we need a motion to approve the bills payable.
Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Mr. Conti, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The tax collector and special taxes report, we received a substantial amount of real estate taxes for the current year. May was the month for the discount rate, so we received $431,098.83 in real estate taxes for the current year.
Nice.
Delinquent taxes for real estate were $5,206.37. Real estate transfer taxes were $2,880.92. Earned income taxes for the current year were $29,608.37, and local service taxes for the current year were $3,889.98.
Can I have a motion to accept the tax collector special taxes report?
I'm making the motion to accept the tax collector special tax report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy. Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
We began May 1st, 2018 with $414,750.25 in the general fund. We received $539,496.64 in deposits. We spent $120,090.05 in expenses. We finished May with $834,156.84 in the general fund.
Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion by Mr. Conti. Second by Mrs. Loalbo. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Police chief's report.
Meeting for the month of May, we received 141 complaints, 20 crimes reported, 15 arrests for citations issued, total persons arrested 7, crime code summaries issued 2, vehicle code summaries issued for 14, borough code summaries issued for 10, and parking citations issued for 14. We had revenues. Magistrate's fines collected was $717.43. Borough's fines and fees was $170. Police reports purchased $75. Amusement device permit was $1,400. Municipal fines, $113.21. Total fines and fees was $2,475.64. And then we had another $595 in parking permit fees. The only other thing I wanted to bring up is that we had a great bike derby Saturday. Appreciate everybody's participation and help on that. It turned out real well. Sergeant Franklin and Annette did a good job setting that up. I just want to thank you guys for supporting the police department. Real well, had a nice big crowd.
Thank you very much, Chief.
He did a wonderful job.
Yeah, it was very, very well organized and weather cooperated.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the police chief's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the police chief's report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy. Second. Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Fire chief's report.
We finally, like I said, we finally got all the paperwork, all the titles, everything squared away on the engine. We had the man out training us on the new engine. We've been out a couple times since then, so it's close. Be nice if we could somehow get some new members, but it's just not happening right now. We did get one new member this month. One of our local policemen decided to join. Officer Bartoshevich joined.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, and good thing about him was he's already trained, he's already got all his modules, so that's a nice thing. We had 10 fire calls for the month of May. And I noticed on the budget, Jerry, remember I talked a few months ago about our gas for the electric and everything. Everything seems to be going down with that new system. I was watching the month, I didn't bring up 4 or 5 months, but looks like that's helping take them bills down. So
wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a work in progress.
Can I have a motion to accept the fire chief's report?
I'll make a motion to accept fire chief's report.
Motion by Mr. Conti, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Mr. McCarthy, the EMS report?
The EMS report, they had, for the month of May, they had 16 ALS calls, 3 BLS calls, 4 refusals, 3 canceled, and no fire calls. And they donated $400 to the Relay for Life in Oakmont, and they also participated Saturday in the bike derby here, and they had someone fitting all the kids with the helmet. They had an ambulance and quite a few ambulance crew people here. So
very good. Have a motion to accept the EMS report?
So moved. I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Suchovich. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I just had a couple things to talk about. We had the municipal tour with Rich Fitzgerald last month. Everything went very well. We did a little tour, took him around, showed him some of the places that we've applied for grants, like Cribs Field, like First Street, and tried to convince him that they're good investments to try to help us out. He came out with his entire staff, and I think it went really well. They seem to be impressed with everything. Other than that, we do have a resolution that needs to be passed, Sandy, for a Mr. Joshua Jendrasic for lot number 364R295. He's participating in the Allegheny County Vacant Property Program. He lives at 552 Church Street. The property next door to his is vacant, owned by Joe Bruni. He's gone through all the necessary steps. So, the county's approved it. All we need to do is approve this resolution permitting him to take ownership of it.
Okay.
So it's on a form prepared by the county, it appears. It's a resolution of Council of the Borough of Verona approving that acquisition and subsequent disposition of of numerous parcels of vacant property known as blot and lot numbers 364R-295 would be in accord with the comprehensive plan of the municipality. So a motion to approve would be in order.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolution for the vacant property subdivision, lot 364-R-295?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter. Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? Question?
Being that this is the first time I've ever, with this vacant property, I'm not exactly sure. Can somebody briefly explain it to me?
Yeah, I can. I don't think that the Borough of Verona, for some reason, in the past participated in the vacant property recovery program in Allegheny County. It's a tremendous program, and what it does is the county takes ownership of various vacant properties through tax claim sales and things of that nature. And then if you are the owner on either side, or if there's somebody behind you, on any property line, if you touch the property, either an owner or even a tenant, I believe, but then you're eligible to apply to the county to acquire that property. And you acquire it as if it's your own. You'll get a deed, and then the property's back on the tax rolls. All the prior encumbrances, you'll get a free and clear deed. And that way, it gets back on the tax rolls for property that would otherwise just sit there vacant, with the grass growing on it.
So you're not paying for this? They're not paying for this piece of property?
That's correct.
They're just getting it? Okay.
And it gets back on the tax rolls.
Thank you.
Yep.
Actually, Craig, I believe this one was purchased for $1,600.
Okay, well, if it's the vacant property recovery program, usually it's not, but Bob said
There's fees, the county charges.
Okay, so there's certain fees.
Okay. But Mr. Bruni, in this case, probably didn't get the money. It just goes to the county.
That's correct.
Right, very good, thank you.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor made by Dr. Carpenter and seconded by Mr. Conti. Are there any more questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have.
Okay. Mayor Recupero did call me today. He met with the gentleman from Oakmont regarding emergency management in regard to consolidating our services. And Oakmont is requiring a letter from Verona. I guess he talked with you, Jerry?
He did.
Stating our intentions for merging regarding disasters, because we share all the disasters with, if a hurricane comes through or a flood or whatever, it's all right here. So I believe you're going to sit down with the mayor, and I was hoping that also you would have your input with whatever intentions, with whatever letter needs to be drafted.
Sure.
And Ray, I was going to ask you, since the fire department, and Pat as well, because you're with the police, the first responders, if you could also participate with Jerry and the mayor and Craig. And
did anybody talk to the county about this? Because I know it's county emergency management.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the mayor did. I know he did talk.
I can fill in a little bit about that.
Okay.
There was a concern whether or not, because each borough has to have an emergency team. The mayor and I are on that, okay? But they have so many more requirements now through FEMA and PEMA and training. We can't get to them, all the meetings. So they did check with the county, and you can share one person to head it. So that was the reason why I think Springdale, there's like 4 communities over in...
They share an emergency management coordinator.
Right, they have one coordinator for all 4 of them.
Then you have deputies here.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why, so that that individual can go to all the meetings, all the training, and is up to date with all that stuff, because to make sure that everything's filled out properly to get the money back. So, yeah.
Just so it's okay with the county, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he did check with the county on that, and he did check with, I think his name is Mr. Brown.
That's the chief.
No, is it, do you know Jerry? Off the top of your head?
That doesn't ring a bell. He did
Okay.
say it today, I don't remember what his name was.
Okay, but this is, I don't know that he's the fire chief. I think this is a gentleman who's semi-retired or retired and has been doing it for them. So, yeah.
Oh, for Oak Point, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you meant the county.
No, for the county, for Oakmont, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
What's that?
He's a volunteer and he's willing to do the work.
Right.
And Dave spoke with a council member in Oakmont about it, that's in charge of emergency management in Oakmont, and he was okay with it, but he wanted to be able to present it to their council to make sure that they're okay with it, which is the purpose of this letter, so that we can explain what we're trying to accomplish with this, and then that'll get presented to, and I believe the mayor plans to present it to Oakmont Council for their approval.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
I just have a few things here. I did want to thank everybody that participated on Saturday. It was a hot day. There was a lot of sweating putty balls around, but I think the kids had a great time. I know the mayor and my husband collected in the area of 70 names. So Dirty Harry's was here, as they are every year, inspecting the bikes, making sure they're up to code. Our DJ kept everything lively. The balloon lady was here making balloons, and I've got to tell you that one of the children, that the lady was set up right beside the where they had to sign in and get their ticket to win prizes, and so my husband was privy to all the conversations that was going on. And one little girl, a second grader at Verona this year, going to third grade, it impressed him so much that he had to go tell her grandparent, her mother and grandmother. She came up to the balloon lady, and while everybody was saying, "Can you make me a crown? Can you make me a flower? Can you make me a sword? Can you make me?" This little girl said, "Do you think you could make me something for my dad for Father's Day?" And the lady developed something, whether it was a crown with a heart on it, but I just thought that was a cool little thing for a second grader to do. The other thing, Chamber had called me this week, Kevin Ewing, and they ran into issues with selling their tickets for Kennywood at the Giant Eagle, so he asked if they could sell their tickets at Railroad Pavilion, which I think is a wonderful idea. So they are going to be selling their tickets from Friday, July 6th through Tuesday, July 10th, right out here at the Railroad Pavilion. So I just, if you see any action there, it's because that's what they're going to be doing. And I think people can drive up, get their ticket, and drive off. It brings people into Verona. So I'm glad about that.
Is there a time, Sandy?
I don't think they've developed that yet. I don't have the time. And it might be different times on the different days, but it will be from Friday, July 6th through Tuesday, July 10th. Also, I was out and about one day, I think it was last week, and I stopped in the office here, and Bob and Marcia were doing an E-Code 360 webinar, and it was really powerful. There is so much information on that program for everything, for zoning, for planning, for Bob, for us, for residents. And I asked Bob to ask the lady if she would be willing to come and give us a brief introduction on how to use this information on our home computers, iPads, whatever. And she is going to come on Monday, June 25th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. She's providing a meal, and I need sign up. So if you are interested in coming, if you would please sign up. And I believe you have one here for residents if they're interested, Bob, because Angela signed up. So, I mean, if you want to put it on the table there.
What is the time for this? I see it's 6:11.
It's 6:30 to 8. That's my date. that it's going to be on June 25th from 6:30 to 8 p.m.
It's actually going to be right after our ordinance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, okay.
Might do that.
We'll put your name down there.
But I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it.
We'll question mark.
We put your name down with a question mark. That's a good idea. Okay, I have another sign-up sheet. Bob had asked that we have a community information table set up at the farmer's market. I suggested we do it when the food trucks are here, so that would be the last Thursday of the month. Sylvia has a difficulty with Thursdays, so it's June, July, August, September, and October. It's a 5-hour span, but I broke it into 2 shifts, 2 to 4:30 and 4:30 to 7. So I'm going to pass this also around so people can sign up for the community information table that we're going to have. And I spoke with Craig regarding summer and people going on vacations and such, if it was possible that we have our June, July, and August workshops on an as-needed basis. And he says that we can do that, we don't have to advertise. So I'm making a motion.
They're already advertised.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're already advertised, so it's the same as not having a quorum show up at the ones that you don't show up at.
Okay.
So, yeah, motion to have them on an as-needed basis.
Okay, so I'm making a motion to have the workshops for June, July, and August on an as-needed basis.
You made the motion?
I made the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, and second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. And I would just like a brief exec session. We don't have to come back. It's on personnel, so that's it. Mr. Pitch.
Thank you. Everything's moving along well. The 2018 paving project of Brunot Street and the point repair on Diamond Way, those were awarded at the workshop meetings. We're just awaiting the contractor to get their bonds and everything in order for them to start. Some of the other grant applications have been submitted, like Jerry had said. And talking with Jerry today, we did receive a phone call from Mr. DeLuca's office. They were somewhat impressed with our First Street reconstruction grant app, but said that they felt that we would stand a better chance resubmitting it under the multimodal. So with council's approval, I'll proceed with resubmitting that under the multimodal grant.
Need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
Okay, can I have a motion for Mr. Pitch to resubmit the reconstruction for First Street grant under a multimodal grant?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Conti.
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Madam President. A few things to speak about. I'm going to go first. I received from Attorney David Montgomery a petition for partial vacation of James Street that Attorney Montgomery is requesting council consider pursuant to Borough Code provision, a couple of various Borough Code provisions that permits the vacation of roadways within the borough. So now that we've received that, we're going to have to schedule a public hearing on it pursuant to public notice and so on and so forth. I just wanted to let council know that I received that in today, a formal petition asking for a portion of the roadway to be vacated. The next thing I have to report on, we continue to meet at our code meeting every fourth Monday. I believe we changed the time now to 3:30. And right now we have pending, and Nancy may speak more on this under her report, a parking ordinance that limits parking in the front yard setback areas like pads and things like that. Finally, there were a number of ordinances that we've considered in our ordinance committee and here in council that have been under consideration for some time. We've advertised them and they're ready for action. There's 5 of them. The first is an ordinance of the Borough of Verona repealing and readopting ordinance number 192-2 in the Verona Codified Ordinances for providing for inspection of all residential rental properties in the Borough of Verona and for the issuance of renewable occupancy permits. So a motion to approve would be in order.
Have a motion to approve the reappeal and readopt of the
192.2.
192.2.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter,
Second.
second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And the next motion is an ordinance, next ordinance, is an ordinance of the Borough of Verona regulating food trucks, food carts, and mobile food vendor operations within the borough.
I'll make a motion. Can I just make the motion? I'll make a motion to pass the food truck ordinance.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter to do the food truck ordinance. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. McCarthy. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The next is an ordinance of the Borough of Verona providing for the vacating, removal, repair, or demolition of any structures dangerous to the health, safety, and welfare of the people of the borough, establishing a procedure for pest and rodent control prior to demolition, and setting forth the procedure and rules for determining dangerous structures.
I'll make the motion to adopt the ordinance regarding extermination before demolition.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
The next is an ordinance of the Borough of Verona regulating the placement of waste dumpsters and the storage of other items within the right-of-ways of any public street within the borough.
Okay, I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance regarding waste dumpsters.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter. Do I have a second? I'll second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And finally, there's an ordinance of the Borough of Verona reasonably regulating bullying and harassment in the borough and providing for the enforcement of same.
I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance regarding bullying and harassment.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter to pass the ordinance for bullying.
Second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And-
Motion passed.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody that was involved with putting these ordinances together. This was a lot of work. There was a lot of ordinances with Bob, Nancy, Sandy. David was involved in the anti-bullying ordinance. Everybody involved. Just thank you very much. We've got a lot more to work on. I'm sure Nancy will bring up a lot in her report, but we finally got a lot of this stuff voted on and enacted and right away.
And thank you for your help too, because there was a lot of work by you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it.
Okay. Mr. Conti.
I have the sheets from the road department, from the last one and this one. He forgot to give me it for the last meeting.
And you know what, Dom, I'm going to thank them too, because they participated with the police bike derby, and I don't know if I've ever remembered the police department participating.
The road department.
The road department, right. But they were helping with the cooking.
It usually was Tommy,
Yeah.
and he was only here to eat the food.
But please thank them for me. It was a good impression.
Okay. They're patching holes. I guess we had a tree fall down on South Avenue on the hill where the Belgian block is. They had to cut that up, get rid of that. We had some issues with the truck. I'm sorry, the street sweeper. That's back. Everything's good with that. We're having an issue with the F-550. We're working on that. Pretty sure all the street signs are done. If they're not, it's very close. and I talked with AJ about the sprinkler system out here. I'm gonna meet with him tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, and we're gonna lay it out, and he's gonna start. Well, it depends on, again, the weather, because it's supposed to rain a lot tomorrow. But if we can get some sort of layout, then as soon as the weather breaks, they can get started on that. And they also been on the far side of the garage where the dumpsters are, they've been patching joints, mortar joints, trying to seal up the building. They had to redo the siding up above again. It keeps blowing off. I don't know what else the only thing we could do is take everything down and put new plywood up, because that plywood's, it's a pressure board. Putting nails in there, it doesn't really hold. Even screws, they just pop out. So we'll have to figure something out for that. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Dr. Carpenter.
Okay, I just wanted to say, the street signs look really good. For, I think it looks like they're all up, but, I don't know. They look really good. I just wanted to say that. In regard to ordinances, as Craig mentioned, we're working on the don't park or put a parking pad in their front yard. But Bob, I thought there was a second one that we also have in the pipeline, but I can't remember what it is. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's another one, and I just can't come up with what it is. I think.
Is it the vacant property one?
Oh, yes.
Is that what you're thinking?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Core business district.
In the core business district, a particular thing for vacant property, for buildings, not for just vacant property.
Yes.
Yeah, and not for residential. This was something that was recommended to us by the Town Center Group. I think everybody has their copy of the code enforcement zoning. I won't read through it. There's nothing earth-shattering that I'm aware of, but I didn't know, Bob, if there was anything else you wanted to add at this time.
No. One thing we've not done in the past is we've never really given any data on the collection on the revenues, citations and so forth. From May to June, we collected $450.
$450 from May to June. We had a hearing back a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we discussed that in previous meetings, but we have another one coming up in July.
Right.
July 12th.
Do you know when, Bob?
July 12th, 10 o'clock.
Right.
Okay.
All right. I don't have anything else to add at this time.
Thank you.
I can think of. Thanks.
Mr. McCarthy.
We're working on the police contract. We're going to be probably sitting down with the police first part of July to discuss with them what their proposal is and moving along with that. At this point, that's it.
Mr. Sechovich.
Everything seems to be good on the budget and the finances with Jerry, talking to Jerry. So everything seems to be online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Loalba.
I have a letter of resignation from one of our rec board members. I'd like to read the letter. Dear Janet and Verona Borough Council, it is with great regret that I'm writing to inform you of my decision to resign from my position on the Verona Borough Recreation Board effective immediately. Other commitments have become too much for me to be able to fulfill the requirements of the position and to satisfactorily serve the borough and its residents. I feel it's best for me to make room for someone with the time and energy to devote to the job. It has been a pleasure being part of the start of the rec board. I have no doubt that the board will continue to grow and have great success and create opportunities in our community. If I can be of any help during the time it takes to find a replacement, please do not hesitate to ask. Thanks, Brian Duncan. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of Brian Duncan from the Verona Recreation Board.
I'll second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So
Motion
now-
passed.
Thank you. Now, I would also like to make a motion to be able to advertise for a replacement for Brian. His term was a 5-year term. He's in his 2nd year of it, so it'll be
3 and whatever.
3 years after.
Okay. Okay.
Make a motion for advertise for.
Motion's on the floor.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, thank you. I have given a letter to Jerry, it was forwarded by Mike Forbeck regarding to the bike trails. There's a trail that will touch our Verona Borough basis for starting in Oakmont there, Jerry.
Yep.
So we need a letter seeking support to support the bike trail going through Oakmont.
Do you want me to read the letter?
Sure.
This letter is to confirm that the Borough of Verona is aware that the Borough of Oakmont intends to install the subject walking/bicycle trail within our municipality and hereby support the project. It's from Ms. Carol Moore. Ms. Carol Moore, the Assistant Manager in Oakmont Borough. Now, this is the one where they're building a bridge, right? And it's gonna touch Oakmont and then Verona and then Penn Hills. And then back to Oakmont. Yeah. So they're not really going through, I mean, they're touching it.
They're
touching
going
it.
through small portions. Right. It is the support for the ground.
So I'm gonna have, with council approval, I suppose, have Marcia put this on borough letterhead and get it back to.
So motion to approve would be in order for that.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the letter that Mr. Kenna has just read regarding that we are aware that the Borough of Oakmont intends to install the subject walking bicycle trail within the municipality and hereby support the project?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, so Marshall will type that up and then I can just sign it.
Correct.
Okay.
I can actually sign it, I think.
Okay. That's okay with you.
I talked to Dawn and Jerry too, Movies in the Park. They would like to have a little space if possible in the borough garage to store the popcorn machine and the movie projector and all that little stuff. It's about a station wagon full of, or back of the truck full of things. Right now it is in Brian Duncan's garage, so.
He's gonna give it back, isn't he?
He's giving it back.
Oh, yeah.
But the first movie, they ended up canceling it for Friday night because they were calling for some terrible weather, which it turned out to be okay, but apparently a handful of people did show up at the park, but they ended up having it Saturday night, and they said about 30 people attended, so for the first movie, I think the kids had fun. We were there for that, Nancy setting it up and all, so it's good.
Dawn, is there's room in the garage that they can do that? I mean, back where we probably kept the Fall Festival stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then how can we access that at the time that we need it?
It's gonna have to be either they'll have to come down and the chief or one of the officers on duty will have to let them in to get it, escort them to get it, and do it that way, or they'll have to come down before 3 o'clock to pick it up when the road department is still over there.
Okay.
One way or another, we'll make it work.
Yeah, the next movie is Friday, July 6th, I believe. Right, the first Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
It's here for
And that's,
Works.
yeah.
Just
That's all I have.
Thank you. Mrs. Provenza.
It was nice again to see a very successful bike derby. I was glad to be a part of it. And also, newsletter ads and articles, we have to have them by this Thursday, the 14th, at the very, very, very latest, because we want to get to print early because of 4th of July coming up. So if anybody has an ad or an article, you need to get it into us very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any comments from the Allegheny League of Municipalities, Council of Governments, or the TCC? Okay, COG doesn't meet until the 27th, so I will have a report at the next public meeting. And council will now hear comments on public-related items from the public.
Vince Flota, 323 Penn Street. I just want to know if you guys have an update on the website.
We actually, we're going to go live today, but some of the data they have is from the old website, so some of it's a little bit outdated, so I'm going through that. Other than that, we're ready to rock and roll.
I was going on there earlier today because I knew the newsletter was coming up, and I sent stuff yesterday to Kathy.
Oh, good.
She didn't give me a confirmation email, so I wanted to find her phone number to call her and make sure she got it, but.
Yeah, so we should be.
You can see me after.
Thank you.
We should be any day now. We just had, when the old website went down, the previous council members were on, so the guy that's been working on it, that's all he had access to. So he put all that in there.
What you got to do with it.
So I just have to update names and things like that, and we're ready to go.
Good to hear. Picnic table, do we have any update on that? The one that's down at the Salt Pile?
No, I'm sorry.
Is there any way they can get it up to Cribs before
Yeah,
two Sundays from now?
I'll have them make sure that it's in good shape. If it's not, then we may have to.
I know one of the boards was loose last year. It might have rotted more though, but if we could have it for the football fundraiser is the 24th of this month, which is not this Sunday, but the following Sunday.
They should be able to get it up there by the end of this week.
That would help us out greatly. If we get a lot of people come, we got more players this year, we have more interest this year, so we're expecting more people, and it would be nice for them to have more seating to eat at.
I'll make sure it's up there.
Thank you. We have received fees this week for the wrestling event. You can pass them out.
Okay.
And I also have tickets available for pre-sale.
August 25th.
August 25.
Yes, and I have tickets available for pre-sale. We just launched our Facebook for our foundation yesterday. I'm going to make an event for this on there probably when I go home. And I'm going to say on there that we have tickets available for pre-sale. That'll help offset the cost of the $1,200 that we have to pay them to come out and do the promotion. Would it be okay for me to drop packets 10 at a time off at the borough office for them to sell if I'm not available?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
I talked to Bob about it. I don't think he has a problem. And as long as you guys don't have a problem, I'll sign them out 10 at a time. And when they need more, I'll come get the money and give them more tickets.
Sounds great.
And we can put one of these up in the window?
Yep.
Okay.
Those are yours. You keep them.
Okay.
If you don't want them, I'll take them back. But I mean,
We'll put them up out here.
Yeah.
more ever.
Yeah, we could put one on the door, we could put one inside.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.
Oh, and Florida Valley Athletic Foundation.
Did I not? Association. I'll get it right.
You got them more right this time than last time. So step forward is a step forward. That's all that matters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela Occapenny, 521 Center Avenue. Just two things. Does anybody know what happened to the planters that were hit last year, I think with that car accident, the two black planters in front of Kaminsky's? Because we only have 9, we had 11, and we can't account for the other 2.
Well, we discussed that, we were gonna order them.
Yeah.
Do we know what happened there?
I think we were waiting on the insurance information.
We decided to just do it anyway. That's been done. We were supposed to just do it because we knew that money was coming.
Okay. I have the part numbers, so I can.
Okay.
Let me check with AJ tomorrow just to make sure that they weren't ordered.
Yeah.
I think there was a trash can, or trash can or bench as well, or something like that.
I think so.
Trash can and 2 planters, I believe.
Yeah. If you get the 2 planters, could you put them in the middle of the boulevard? So we'll plant in there, because it's real bare in the middle of the boulevard.
They're like Dirty Harry's?
Yeah, right around the middle somewhere, close enough.
Across from one another?
Yeah, directly across the street from one another, and then we'll plant them.
Okay.
And then the other thing is the last meeting, I was talking about the dead bushes out at the pavilion, and I said I really didn't care if Resnick did them, but I changed my mind. Could the garden club take care of that? I went to Penn Hills Lawn and Garden because they're the ones that planted all that out there, and I got a quote for 8 new bushes. 4 of them will be like this, and then the other 4 would be yellow. They didn't have 8 of these, so I took 4 of these. I asked for 4 of these and 4 yellow flowering bushes that will do well in full sun, and she gave me a bill, or like a quote. So if you approve it, I could get these on the weekend and have them planted by the garden club, and then you don't have to bother Resnick or any other landscaper to do it.
How much?
$252 for 8 bushes.
Does that include tax and everything?
I don't think they charge us tax because we're nonprofit when you have the ID. So I'll give you the.
So you're looking to have that motion made today?
Yes, please, because I'd like to get it handled by the weekend. If you approve it, I'll get it.
I'll make a motion to
help me.
I'll make a motion to pay for the flowers that'll be over at the new pavilion for
$252.44
bushes.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Conti, second by Dr. Carpenter for the $252 for the 8 bushes to be placed around the pavilion. Are there any questions?
We giving that to you to go pick them up?
Yeah, if you give me a check, I'll go and give it to them this weekend, and they'll just give me the bushes, and I'll bring them back in my truck and get them planted. So if you leave a check with Marsha or something, I can come down and get it before the weekend, even out by Friday.
They wouldn't refund anything that died or anything like that?
Because it's been 3 years, no.
Okay, so is there a 3-year warranty on these?
No, I didn't ask about warranties. I did not ask about that.
Okay.
I don't think that you're going to get a 3-year warranty with any perennials. I really don't. I mean, if it's a year.
Yeah.
We had a rough winter. We lost a lot of plants. Like, I lost plants myself at my house, and so did she. I lost my Lazy Susans that are always hardy, but, you know, it happens. It's just, we probably had a rough winter and a rough freeze or something one night and lost them, but all the rest of them are doing fine, so it was kind of just a fluke, but I don't think you're going to get a 3-year warranty with them, though, if that's what you're asking.
But they're not giving anything?
Well, I don't know. I could ask her. I'm sure that if it's like a year, maybe you might get that. I didn't ask, but you're not going to get a 3-year. But
well, I
mean, if we plant them and they die in like 6 months, I mean, I can ask that. I didn't ask that, though.
Okay, so. I just think that they should back it somehow, some way. I know Plumline does, so I'm assuming other places do too.
Yeah, I don't know. I told her about, that they died, but she didn't say there was a warranty or anything on them. And it has been 3 years, so I don't think that you're going to get any satisfaction with the last ones, at least.
Center of the store.
Okay.
So they do have some sort of information, it says on here, but it's not on here. It says that it's at the store.
Well, as far as the ones that died, I'm sure you're not going to get anything out of them because it's been 3 years. But the new ones, I honestly don't know. I didn't ask, so.
But you'll find out?
I can find out, yeah. Okay. And then I can leave a message on Jerry's voicemail or something and let you know.
Yeah. Motion on the floor made by Mr. Conti, second by Dr. Carpenter. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Patty Tuminello, 756 2nd Street, Verona, PA. I just want to let everyone know that we have tickets that we're selling to be picked on the community day, 50/50 tickets for $5 a piece. We start selling them now, and if anybody that sells it wants to sell any, and they do, they get $25 if they have the winning ticket, and the proceeds are going to go towards the community day and the concerts in the park.
Great.
And our next concert is July 15th. The Oldies group starts at 6 o'clock to 8, and our last one, the polka band, got rained out. So they're going to reschedule for September.
Okay.
So we don't usually do them in September. We're going to have 2 in September.
Okay.
And I have tickets if anybody wants any.
Okay.
Never mind.
I do have one more thing I forgot. I was approached today by Mary Ann Yingling on Heron Avenue. She has a reserved parking sign there for handicap loading on Heron Avenue. Her vehicle, her personal vehicle, has been hit 4 times. Out of the 4 times, only once has somebody come and said, we hit your car, and they took care of it. It was recently hit again, and the damage was over $800. So she has asked if the parking sign that they have in front of their house could be moved to South Avenue, to the side of their house, as opposed to the front.
Okay.
Below their driveway, because if you put it above the driveway, that's school property.
Is there enough room between the driveway and the corner that they wouldn't be too close to the corner?
I think there is.
I'll have to look at it.
But I'm not sure, but if you would please check that out for me.
Yeah, and if it looks good, then I'll have them change it.
Okay. All right.
I have one more thing,
Yeah.
too. I wanted to mention, 3 years from now, Verona will be celebrating 150 years from incorporation. We were incorporated, so maybe it might be time for us to start thinking about the celebration that we might want to have in our borough to showcase it with, parades, maybe start a committee or something like that, too. I'm not sure what the history club has going, but it's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is.
To come with, a small borough and how far we've come.
150 years.
150 years will be, so.
It's like St. Joe celebrated theirs last year.
Exactly.
So they had something every month, so.
See who's interested in getting it going.
Do you want to form a committee?
I might be part of it.
I'll work with you on it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, that's all I wanted to mention.
Okay. I need a motion for adjournment to exec session, and we do not have to come back.
I'll make a motion to adjourn exec session, and we don't have to come back.
Motion by Mr. Conti, second by Mr. McCarthy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.